Hello friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile 3, Ruined World. I am in the Tower of the Magi, which we may remember from Exile and Exile 2. Also, seeing the unidentified wand in Pearl's inventory reminds me of a thing I've been meaning to demonstrate. The Wand of Vorb. I need to be in combat mode to use it. And when I do, you don't feel very well. Character takes 250 damage. That is basically the maximum amount of hit points you can have in this game. So, don't use the Wand of Vorb. It's a very bad idea. I will reload. There's also one more secret little thing that someone mentioned in the comments a while back. Let's see if I remember correctly. If I press the keys Shift 7, if Valorim, you want to save, back up your save files. Burma shave. So that's Shift 7, Shift 8, Shift 9, Shift 0. Hee. And yes, save early, save often, save backups. New arrivals. Follow walkway out to barracks. Do not step off. Okay, I don't actually know how many new arrivals the tower is expecting from Upper Avernum. I would think that they're mostly going from the tower to Upper Avernum. Follow walkway out to barracks. Do not step off. No, that does make sense for people going through the portal to the portal fortress in Upper Avernum. Okay. To the south is the towering, fiery portal that carries hundreds of people every day up to the surface and back down to Exile. To the north, through curving, shielded passages, is the Tower of Magi. This outer corridor is here to provide the rest of the Tower of Magi some insulation from the intense energy of the portal. The portal's power makes every hair on your body stand straight out, and you feel quite queasy. Nobody spends much time in here. Same message on this side. To the north, past thick lead-lined walls, lies the surface portal. To the south is the Tower of Magi's main laboratory, where reality becomes more warped every day. A walkway leads out of the laboratory, provided to steer people in the right direction. And what kind of security clearance do you have to come through here and get to Upper Avernum anyway? There is a businesslike official standing at the entrance to the portal, notepad in hand. As people filter by, walking to and from the portal, he checks them off. I'm Vidrain. I'm very busy. I've received information on you. We're forcing as many people through here as possible. Everyone needs to be identified and checked off. Our staff is too small. For thousands of people going through, each of which needs to be checked? Of course. That's a lot of people. Far more than we will ever actually see. You've been sent here for training. I can tell you where the instructors are. Yes, please. The spells you are to receive will be taught to you by X or Solberg of the Triad. I'm not aware of their locations, but poke around. I'm sure they'll turn up. Yeah, you've been a huge help, bud. Yee, magical stuff. And a wizard. You meet a small woman with dark skin and long black hair. She wears the robes of a member of the Triad, and has tiny runes tattooed on her forearms and the backs of her hands. She radiates confidence and power. She bows slightly at the waist. I am Madavi, of the Triad. I am a member of the Triad of the Tower of Magi, she says modestly. It is a post of no small responsibility. This is the Tower of Learning, the center of magical studies and knowledge in Exile. Unfortunately, because of the portal, we have also become something of a way station. The portal here was built several years ago. It was only 2 years ago that we were able to boost its power sufficiently to send someone near the surface. Our long-desired route to the surface was attained. Unfortunately, it has meant that everybody sent up has had to pass here. She shrugs. Tedious, but it's necessary. Aha, here's something different. Lately, my efforts have been spent on the operation and maintenance of the portal. It is a tedious job, and I was only picked for it because of my experience with the Empire teleporter. She smiles wryly. During the Empire War, our foe's great weakness was its trouble sending troops down here. They made a massive portal to teleport hordes of soldiers here. I directed an effort to destroy it. For this, I was thought an expert on such things, and stuck with maintaining the portal here. Okay, I don't think we can actually get much else out of Madavi right now. Locked door? How dare. Uh-huh. Fine then, stay locked. See if I care. I'll stay on the path like I'm supposed to. Main laboratory. Portal departees. Stay on walkway. Don't go poking around magical stuff you have no ideas about. Main lab and surface portal. This corridor is cool and calm, and leads to a series of ornate doors. A nameplate hangs on each door, with a single mage's sigil carved on it. These must be the wizards' quarters. Perhaps we shall find more wizards. And more locked doors. You meet an aging mage in flowing violet robes. Although he is only middle age, he looks worn well beyond his years. He gives you a weary bow. I am Solberg, of the Triad. Hey, Solberg! Good to see you not locked into your own tower. He gives a weary, sad smile. I serve Exile in my capacity as a member of the Triad. Alas, I have endured many ordeals in this position. The Triad of Magi oversees all magical activity in Exile, makes sure dangerous knowledge doesn't become widespread, and watches for any potentially deadly experimentation. Such a position is not without risks. In addition, I am supposed to give magical rewards to those who merit them. I should ask Madavi about Triad. I don't think I tried that. Okay, asking about magic is a way to get some spells. Solberg nods. Your struggle against the alien slime shows you'll need more powerful magic to complete your surface task. He teaches you the spells Ice Bolt and Venom Arrows. Hooray! I would have preferred Slow Group, but okay. Free spells is always good. For many years I was forced to hide in a tower far out in the nether caves of Exile, for my own protection. The years of my life I lost in that prison I prefer not to think upon. We try to control who can cast kill spells and the like. If unscrupulous persons obtained certain spells, we could all be in great danger. We need to keep a close eye on experiments, to make sure nothing deadly gets loose. In particular, I watch my old adversary, Linda. She has a dangerous predilection for summoning nether creatures. This tendency was what first drove me into hiding for many years. Now that she is back in the tower, I am very nervous indeed. Y'all let her back in here? Okay, and that's all I can do with Salberg for now. I can also pop some Lux. And swipe some books. Surface Flora and Fauna. So we've got a few copies of that one floating around. Yeah, pretty much what you would expect from a mage's quarters. And no, I'm not going to steal from Salberg. I like Salberg, he's cool. Secrets of Training. At this point, I think I have seen at least most of the books that are in Valorum and or Exile. But of course I must check thoroughly. Magic for Dummies. Maybe you are just a very stubborn lock. Okay, I need to stop trying that because I'm almost out of spell points. One day you will give up your secrets to me. So technically I've already gotten what I came for here. When did Pearl pick up ropes? I don't remember this. Aw, the tower guards don't talk to me either. So yes, I've already gotten what I came for, but there's so much left to explore. Including this whole little corner. Hello? This is a secluded meeting room. 3 ornate chairs face each other over a brazier. A fire burns in the brazier, but you see no fuel sustaining it. You try to enter, but an invisible barrier blocks you. A voice says, "Triad members only, please." Okay, so that is a Triad meeting hall. And this is just a hallway. A plaque reads, "In memory of Silverio, mighty wizard, lost in the Empire War." Alas, I think Silverio was one of the wizards hanging around Fort Emerald. A plaque reads, "In memory of Patrick and his many years of service to Exile. Rest in peace." Ah, Patrick was a good guy. One of the more stable wizardy types. You stare longingly at the passage that leads out to Exile, but then turn back. Your business is back up on the surface. Indeed it is. Remembrance Park? Okay, standard courtyard park. Also, there's a cat here, and if Salberg is here, are you Cheeseball? Yes. You encounter a very large, very pudgy calico cat. As you approach, it looks up at you. You are surprised to see intelligence in its eyes. "I," it proclaims regally, "am Cheeseball. Not the name I would have chosen for myself, I assure you. I am, I regret to say, a familiar, not of my choice." It walks up and bats at your bootlaces. "I am the highly magical, immensely intelligent servant of Salberg, and a lousy job it has been." He's a wizard. He's very powerful. Big deal. All the years I've been with him, he hasn't once summoned some fresh mice for me. First, I had to hide with him in some crummy, smoky, evil tower for years. Then I had to follow him all over the place. No catnip, no mates, no relaxing. How can you not pity me? It spits a hairball in irritation. I would prefer to have been a wild jungle cat, romping through the woods, chasing wildebeests, ripping out their jugulars. That's the life for me. It hisses in a way that might almost be thought of as ferocious. So, yeah, pretty typical house cat there. Apprentice isn't allowed to speak to me. Do I go exploring the corners, or do I continue circling around? I'll explore more of the corners. This is the laboratory where student mages first learned the art of tampering in God's domain. Mistakes are, of course, inevitable, which explains the thick layer of lead on the walls, and that smell of burned meat. Hello there, rat. This woman wears the robes of a student mage. However, she completely lacks the scraping, servile manner of an apprentice. In fact, she looks downright combative. I'm Carrie, the apprentice. She says apprentice as if she wants you to make something of it. Well, I just completed my silence period, and am beginning my preparatory training. That means I'll learn something useful in, say, 50 years or so. All apprentice mages here spend a year in magically forced silence. It's supposed to, force us to focus our inner mind, or free us to learn without the weight of response. It's pure bollocks, of course. They just like to see us squirm. Now I can actually talk. That means a full year of grinding herbs for the masters while they pretend to teach us something useful. We don't learn any actual spells for 2 full years. I'll tell you, if it wasn't for Bernard, I'd die of boredom. She looks upset that she let it slip, but then decides that you aren't a threat. He's still in his silence period, but believe me, he can communicate more without words than most can with a year of talking. She grins. Of course, if I hadn't just spent a year being completely quiet, I wouldn't think you were worth telling any of this. No offense. None taken. She sighs. Well, more like 3 years before we even learn a spell of the first circle. But the silence period makes it seem like much, much more. Believe me. More corridors. And more apprentice mage. You meet a tidy young mage in tidy robes. Her hair is neatly combed, and a small wand hangs at her belt. Kyanan. I am a teacher at the magic school. I instruct the students in the school in the art of casting projectile spells. Well, hello, Miss Garnet. Would you like to learn about casting fireballs? You don't know fear until you've been near someone casting his first fireball. Can't imagine. The Tower of Magi is where all Exile's most promising mages receive their schooling. It's a demanding process. She looks uncomfortable, so I cannot buy spells from you. Darn. I suppose she would just teach the, levels 1 through 3 spells that I already have anyway. Hidden room? Why can I not find a way in here? Bit strange. Okay, various student quarters. Couple of hidden areas, perhaps. Okay, sleeping cells for the apprentices. Someone is studying their flora and fauna. Nothing interesting on the shelves. I was expecting Bernard to be around here somewhere, but maybe I'll find him later. Okay, the door popped open easily enough, but there's a barrier I cannot walk through. Well then. Lots of stuff in this corner. Vincent's magical supplies. The man sitting behind the counter is busily chopping pungent and peculiar herbs into small pieces. Shelves behind him sag beneath a variety of multicolored solutions, with no doubt esoteric purposes. I am Vincent. Welcome to my shop. I make a variety of powerful potions, which are available for purchase. The tower is an excellent place for this sort of business. I have sold potions to the finest mages in Exile. Solberg, X, Patrick, and, well, others. He seems to be debating whether to tell you something. He looks around to make sure nobody else is nearby. I can't tell anybody here, but listen. Linda has been buying a lot of weird herbs. They're used for other things, true, but the herbs she's been buying are mainly used for summoning. It's suspicious. I stay out of tower business, but you guys have enough of a name that I thought you should know. Linda, are you up to something? So here we can buy smoky crystals and various potions. I'll be honest, I've never really used Mind Duel much outside of the final battle in Exile 2. Alchemy and stuff. There is a large woman with very short hair behind the counter. She was grinding something with a mortar and pestle when you came in, and her fingers have the permanent brownish stains that are the mark of a true alchemist. She wipes a hand clean and extends it to you. I'm generally called Piglet. Yes? I'm an experimenter in the alchemical arts. Magical training and experimentation is the main business of the Tower of Magi. It's a wonder any of us are still alive. Apprentices learning spells, wizards trying new concoctions, mages tinkering with fire and ice and acid and poison and dark powers. It's a wonder nothing has blown us up yet. She looks annoyed. You should know that certain things are not asked of lightly. I don't make potions anymore. That's Vincent's business. What I do is try to come up with new recipes. For example, I can teach you to make weak poison with holly leaves, or a lovely speed potion with comfrey root and wormgrass. Might you be interested in purchasing these fine recipes? I could. Poison is super cheap. Weak speed potion is more useful to me, but also a little more expensive. Keep that in mind. What's in here? Menlo, sage. The crone behind the counter is so aged and brittle you're surprised nothing is actually falling off of her. Menlo, she says in a creaky voice. Child, I've forgotten more than you'll even learn. My knowledge extends from the bottom of the sea and to the highest star, and I'll share it with you, if you ask nicely. She looks you over and thinks. You are the surface adventurers. I know of you. I will tell you of Erica for 200 gold, and dragons for 400. Also, I can lower myself to identifying your items if need be. Finally, for a scant 25 gold, I can give a friendly warning. Certain metals give off deadly magics, which cause those nearby to become ill. Certain magic items can do this as well. If you find yourself becoming ill for no reason, Look to your inventory. Okay. Also, sorry to make you lower yourself, but I would like some identification. She mutters a brief spell, gives your items the merest glance, and comes away with full knowledge of their properties. Wand of Death. Cursed Broadsword is crap, Iron Short Sword is slightly less crap. Does anyone else even have anything? Bronze Large Shield is kinda meh. Okay, that's all. I can come back later to ask you about Erica and the dragons. Because I have enough gold to ask about one of those. Temple of the Seeking Soul. Hey, don't run off. This woman is of utterly nondescript appearance. Average height, average looks, dull hair. However, her robes are an immaculate white, and her face radiates peace and strength. Welcome, children. I am Mother Clarice. I am a high priestess of the Church of the Seeking Soul. I spend my time learning and teaching, and, when it cannot be avoided, wandering. We are dedicated to the liberation of learning. Why do we not suffer the tyranny of the strong? Why do we not live exclusively in hovels, prey to giant lizards and disease? Because of learning. We of this church accumulate and further knowledge in all forms. Knowledge is not wisdom, but it does lead to it. My main responsibility in the Church of the Seeking Soul is to never stop learning, and never stop exploring. It is a great burden. Sometimes I wish to stop and say enough is enough. Fortunately, the joy of teaching keeps me going. Others hoard their magical skills. We delight in sharing them. Alas, we must request a fee to support our archival efforts. Are you interested in spells? Heck yes, I am. Except these look like level 6 spells, and I have not trained Stephen up to that level yet. Also, very expensive. Well, pretty average, but, you know, mostly more gold than I feel like spending. Before I came here, I did service in the Empire War, healing, and even fighting. It provided an education, but one I would have been happier without. The tithing box has suggested donation 5 gold carved in the front. You see a few coins scattered around inside. Stealing is obviously a bad idea here, so I will give a few. You place a few coins into the chest. Very responsible of you. Just standing near this altar gives you a strong sense of calm and well-being. Pray? The altar glows and bathes you in a warm light. Your donation and life of questing is rewarded in the form of greater knowledge. Your mind opens up, and you see things much more clearly now. Oh ho? Well, well. I neglected to show my stats earlier, but donating in the box and then praying at the altar gives you 2 free intelligence points on every character. You kneel at the shrine and receive a warm, satisfied feeling. And nothing else. You get back up. And that is what happens if you pray without donating first. I'm not actually sure if I knew about that when I played this game originally as a kid. But it's definitely something I've learned about since. For aesthetic reasons, the door to the room where gardening supplies are stored has been concealed. This stuff doesn't look too interesting. Yep. Nothing of interest in here. Why are there so many little hidden pockets in here? Menlo, what do you know of this? Don't mind me, just snooping around a bit. This concealed room is simply the robing room for the temple. Most temples have one, where a minister prepares before beginning a service. What? Huh. Okay, I guess there's a ring hidden back in there. Okay, then. Vanity portal. The sign is somewhat dusty. And the door is locked. This portal was Exile's connection to the lands of the Vanity. It still exists, but just barely. It flickers in and out of existence, and is clearly far too weak to use. The room is filled with dust. Nobody has been in here in a while. I wonder why they let this portal dissipate. Maybe we've got other embassies or trade routes somewhere? I would hope so. Secondary laboratory. Have defenses active before entering. Oh, this sounds fun. This is the Tower of Magi's secondary laboratory, where the more peculiar, unimportant, and sometimes dangerous experiments take place. Sounds like I should save. You browse the notebook as you pass. The Tower of Magi somehow caught several of the surface creatures you've been fighting, and has been studying them. A note on the front of the notebook requests that visitors stop here to avoid damaging the specimens. Ah, more slime! Also, there's a white somewhere around here, apparently. There's the white. Bye. Oh dear. I can't walk through that barrier. Well, let's hope that the white is confused by the secret passage here, and I'll just close this door behind me. Before I go there. Let's see, looks like I missed a door over here. Not that coming through here is doing me a whole lot of good. Because more magic barriers. The tower does not want to reveal all of its secrets to me right now. Meeting hall. The vanity decor in this room takes you by surprise at first. Then you notice that the chairs have been built for humans, not the much lighter, thinner vanity. Someone must have decided to build the council room in a different style. Teehee. The case is filled with scrolls. You're excited at first, until you realize that the scrolls are covered with records of Tower of Magi business so tedious and repetitive, they'd make an accountant commit suicide from boredom. And same in that one. This is where people are billeted while waiting for their turn to use the surface portal. The quarters are quite cramped and uncomfortable. The Tower of Magi seems unconcerned with providing creature comforts for outsiders. This is the dining hall for people waiting to use the portal. The room is cramped and dirty, and a pot of stew is overcooking on the fire. It could have been a little nicer to actually have a few NPCs wandering around in here, whether or not they actually had any dialogue. Nobody has specifically said that you can use these quarters. However, there are several empty, comfortable beds here, inviting you to have a good night's sleep. Rest? I'm still walking off the damage from walking through 1 or 2 barriers, so sure. Nobody disturbs your rest. You get a very refreshing 8 hours of sleep. When you wake up, someone even brings you water to wash up with. What luxury! And I'm sure absolutely nothing bad is happening on the surface while we waste time here. This room is filled floor to ceiling with webs. Peculiar, but you have a hard time finding anything that happens in this place to be unusual. Hello? A friendly talking spider! Hello! This spider stares at you with big beady eyes. At first, you aren't sure what it's going to do. Then it says, in a friendly, high-pitched voice, "Hi there!" It starts to bounce up and down happily. The chirpy, happy voice continues. "My name is Spider. Pleased to meet you. I'm here because the Needle Wizards here wanted to study me." He looks at you closely. "You're cute." "The wizards are really, really powerful. They can kill 1,000 flies with a single wave of their hand. Cool, huh?" It gives a single emphatic hop of approval. "Yeah," it chirps. "Wanna go eat bugs?" "Not really?" "Bugs are yummy, and the wizards keep a bunch around for me. Wanna go eat some?" You politely decline. It looks sad for a moment. Oh no, I've let Spider out. Oh, just a stick on the bed. It looks like some people were staying in this room up until very recently. Their stuff is gone, but the beds haven't been made and things haven't been fully cleaned up. Perhaps something is left behind. Aha! Remembering what Denise and the Portal Keep told you, you examine the dresser carefully. Removing the bottom shelf reveals something that somehow fell underneath. A small silver amulet. Silver runed amulet is probably the one. You found this amulet in a bedroom in the Tower of Magi, just where Denise, a mage in the Portal Fortress, told you you'd find it. Cool, we can give that back to her once we're done here. This is an unused storeroom. Okay. And there's nothing in it. This looks like a store, but it's cluttered with amazing amounts of junk, most of it clearly useless. Making your way to the counter will take some effort and some careful stepping. It's Brantford! This mage looks more like a salesman than anything else. He holds a large sack at his side, which bulges with all manner of odd-shaped things. As you approach, he displays a rather predatory smile. I am Brantford the Mage, and collector. I collect valuable items of all sorts. Yes, many interesting souls come through the Tower of Magi, and I collect goods from them for resale. Perhaps you would like to purchase some of my goods, or sell me some trinkets you no longer have need of. Let's see what you got. Bronze mace, meh. Potion of bliss, interesting. Major bless and healing, very cool. Magic chainmail would be quite nice if I could afford it. Throwing daggers. Arrows of life. Holy crap, that's rare. You have come across truly fine examples of the Fletcher's art. Does extra damage to undead. Wand of Charming. Neat. Weak energy. Cool. Steel Great Helm. Not bad. Ooh, Ice Shield. Gives extra fire resistance. This is a beautiful shield. It is crafted of fine metal, carefully polished, and has an elegant geometrical design across its surface. It looks brand new. I will be buying probably none of these today. Let's see. Oh, right. I am in the buy screen. Now I'm in the sell screen. I can actually sell the Cursed Broadsword. Not for very much, but I can. Not sure if I still need the basic powder anymore. I don't remember if there's much else that'll give me acid for a while. I want the gold more than I want the acid insurance. Sell the Wand of Orb. And the Bronze Large Shield. I believe I have made a slight profit between identifying and selling things. This is where people are billeted, yada yada yada. Oh, there actually are some people in this one. Soldiers that do not respond. This was a brilliant idea. Also, don't mind the cat in the background, she's just reminding me that it's starting to get close to dinner time. Garnet, you don't get fed for another hour, come on. Silly cats. Always asking for food well in advance. Unidentified tome holding chamber. Authorized personnel only. Ooh. So that's a Zappy Barrier. I did save right before this, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. At the end of this well-defended passage, someone has placed a small, soot-covered book on a pedestal. The pedestal has something carved on the front, the rune for unknown. Will I be able to read this? You crack open the pages of the book nervously, only to find that it's written in a magical dialect you don't understand. Maybe, if you studied mage lore a bit more, you'd be able to comprehend it. Add that to the list of places to come back to later. And, as before, there is a hidden library here, with a hidden wizard. You encounter a wizard wearing long, rich violet robes. A heavy cowl covers the mage's head. You can't make out any details of his, or her, face in the shadows inside. It's pretty creepy. A reedy, whispery voice emerges from the folds of the cowl. I am called X. I am of the Triad. Again, the whisper emerges from the cowl. The guardians of knowledge and the protectors of exile. We watch over the magical knowledge and grant it to those that have earned it. We restrict the flow of magical knowledge so that the weak and untrained do not grasp hold of that they cannot control. The whispering voice emerges from the hood. I will teach you no powerful mage spells. You have not earned them. Okay. So we can come back to X after we've beaten some of the tougher plagues on the surface. Let's see, that may be all I can do around here for now. Let me just poke around a bit more. Okay, I have found a secret storage room full of boxes and stuff. Ooh, I could swipe some food. And some more food. A bottle, how exciting. Vanity robes. Nifty. Rocks. And torches. And so far everything else confounds me. At least as long as I don't have Dispel Barrier. This is not quite the most efficient way to go back to where I need to go. Okay, that's Carrie. Linda, hello! This old woman wears long, rich velvet robes, which trail on the floor behind her. Silver characters are sewed into the hem, and she has a strange, vacant look, and doesn't seem to be sure of where she's going. I am called Linda. She looks down and is silent for a while. Then she looks up at you. I do research. She begins to speak in an odd sing-song voice. That is the job of a mage. Magic is a huge, unexplored forest, and there is much of it that is still virgin. Uh-huh. Yes, I explore many of the bolder, more fascinating areas. Do you now? She looks agitated. I study various creatures. I prefer not to say their names. She says nothing. Aha, I do get a little bit more information here. The Triad is traditionally composed of the 3 most skilled mages in Exile. We reside in the tower, and coordinate the magical efforts here. The Triad now consists of me, Solberg, and another. This usually works well. Sometimes, however, there are irregularities. Solberg is a good friend, and one who has suffered much for Exile. He usually studies in his quarters to the south. He calls himself X. I don't understand him. Nobody does. He's skulking around somewhere. Yep, we found him. She looks uncomfortable. Linda the Archmage was in the Triad once. She performed a rather unfortunate experiment with demonkind, and we had to banish her from the tower. Only lately have we allowed her to return, as we need her considerable skill. She seems to have learned her lesson. Does she now? And what do you need with an expert on summoning? Okay, so 2 extra intelligence points are not helping with this door. Actually, I do have the True Sight spell, and it only costs 3 spell points. Okay, so there's a table in there, and it might have something on it. I don't know. No. If anyone has insight into spaces that I've missed, feel free to let me know in the comments. For now, back to Upper Exile. And I can return Denise's amulet. Have you seen my amulet? You give it to her. Great, she says, and gives you a scroll in return. That's a good scroll, but my amulet is worth infinitely more. Now I go on to my post. She puts it on, and her face resumes its former dour expression. Meanwhile, she will continue to stay here in the Portal Fortress because programming reasons. And next time, I shall return to the surface. Or perhaps explore a couple more bits in Upper Exile before I do. Either way. Small interlude here to demonstrate one more little thing. So there's nothing of interest on this bit of land between the two river forks. But there is something right here. On this shore, you find the smashed and ancient ruins of some small boat of surface design. It must have come down from the surface. Among the wreckage, you find a buckler which is still in amazingly good condition. And now I've got a scroll and a buckler to identify once I get back to Fort Emergence. Scroll of Shockwave. Okay, that's pretty cool. And a magic buckler. Excellent, excellent. Alright. Well, I'm going to go get some training, and I will meet you all somewhere back on the surface. Until next time, have a good one, everybody.